Hi, this is Dr. Toby, your host on Health and Wellness, inviting you to watch our show this week. We have a great guest, Dr. Edith. She's a nutritionist who's trained at the Virginia State University and at the Jackson State University. She has a bachelor's in nutrition and a bachelor's in health technology. She has a master's in microbiology and then a PhD in epidemiology. She's the CEO of Brighter Day Nutrition in Vicksburg, Mississippi. She's going to be sharing with us all she knows about nutrition and how to stay healthy and avoid the pitfalls that have affected almost 40% of Americans who are obese today. Obesity is a cause of multiple illnesses. You do not want to miss what she's going to share with us. Join us on this show. Join us at our Holy Ghost night every last Friday of the month at the Clarion called Oyo Hotel now on I-165. Time is 11 p.m. every last Friday of the month. Looking forward to seeing you. Don't forget, Jesus is Lord. Amen. Thank you so much. What a pleasure to be on the show with you. Thank you. Don't touch that dial. We have a great show today with Dr. Edith Ezekwe. Dr. Edith is a registered dietitian nutritionist. She's a PhD trained from Jackson State in epidemiology. She has her master's in microbiology and her undergrad also from Virginia State University. She's with us in the house. She's the chief executive of Brighter Day Nutrition, and she's going to be sharing some pointers for us in the state of Louisiana, Mississippi, and all around the world, for those of you watching, on how we can improve our nutritional lifestyle. Dr. Edith, you're welcome on our show. Thank you for coming. Really honored to have you.
Thank you so much.
Real
Thank you,
honored.
Dr.
Yeah.
Mama.
So one of the first things I want to throw out here is you came to the United States in your maybe early 20s. Have you noticed a difference in the diet between the African population in Africa and the African American population, or the, let me use the word, the American diet? Is there a difference between the American diet and the African diet, since you've had a taste of both of them?
Oh, definitely, Dr. Mama. See, when I first came to U.S., I couldn't relate to how much sugar that we add to diets here. Like back home, it's nothing we add sugar to, except pastries, like chin chin, like cake. Yeah. But I noticed, especially when I worked in the hospital, that greens, that is nutritional, that we add sugar to it. We add oil to it.
Wow.
So it's a difference. It's a difference in the cooking.
Right.
Yeah.
Another thing I've noticed, and I might be wrong, but you can correct me, in Africa, it looks like obesity is more prevalent in the upper class. But in America, obesity is more prevalent in the lower class.
Yeah.
What do you think is the reason for that disparity in socioeconomic? I mean, why are the less financially endowed in America the highest in obesity rates, while in Africa, it looks like those who are not the wealthiest those who are the wealthier tend to have the more weight? I don't know if we've done any statistics, but that's what it looks like.
No, you are so correct in your observation. You are so correct, because back home, people that are struggling, because they tend to do more exercise. They walk to the store,
More
to the
physical
market,
activity, right.
more physical activity. And then also, they're not able to eat natural food. They're not able to buy a lot of like soda,
Okay.
that people with affluence
Goodbye.
will buy. So they eat more what we call here organic,
Okay.
because they produce it in their farm, they eat it. Yeah, unlike here. So those are the
So in
Differences.
America, let me use the word, those who are not as wealthy, they tend to eat processed food more than natural organic food.
Yeah,
Oh,
because you know organic food here is expensive.
it's more expensive,
It's
right?
yeah, it's more expensive.
Wow.
So-called organic,
Right.
food.
Tell us what organic really is, because a lot of people use that word openly, and I don't. I personally, I'm not sure what exactly organic means. Is this organic?
Well,
Is this organic? I don't know.
so organic, is going more back to nature,
Okay.
and it's supposed to. They're not supposed to use fertilizer, and grow it naturally. So that's what organic is. But then my husband, he begs to differ.
Oh, okay.
He says it's not, they're all the same because the bee that pollinates.
Right, for honey.
Yeah, it
Okay.
doesn't say, okay, this is organic, this is not organic, to pollinate
Right.
the excuse me, pollinate the, the plants.
Right.
So they go, and then we really don't know.
Okay.
But sometimes I buy the organic when I can afford
It
it.
sounds good. People
It
like the
sounds
word.
good.
So your emphasis is not necessarily buying organic, but buying healthy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Health, and you find that people, in lower strata of their, well, I don't want to use the word poverty, but
Income, lower income
income,
bracket. Right.
lower strata, yeah, of income. You find that they buy a lot of processed food, like you said.
Okay.
Somehow they prefer going to McDonald's,
Mm-hmm.
going to Sonics. Not that there's not anything wrong with those, but if you do it more often, of course you're gonna,
Right.
put in some weight that
Mm.
you don't necessarily need.
Interesting. So the fast food industry is a big part of the weight gain in America.
Definitely, definitely,
What I
definitely.
don't get is that there's McDonald's in New York, there's McDonald's in Seattle, there's McDonald's in why are the southern states like Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas the highest obesity rates? For example, America has a prevalence of 40, I think 40% obesity at the
Yeah.
moment. Mississippi is like 42, number one, and I think Louisiana is maybe 30 point something, 30 something. So again, my question is, we're not the only states that have fast food restaurants.
Okay.
So why are the southern states particularly hit harder with obesity compared to the northern states, who may
Okay.
even have more fast food, outlets?
Yeah, you have a great point. What it is, you look at the built environment.
Okay.
Do you have sidewalks, where people can just, walk around, don't even know they're exercising? Like in New York, like you said, Seattle, or DC, people walk a lot, don't even know they're engaging in physical activity.
Right.
Yeah, so those are the differences. Your southern states, they don't have those kind of amenities, good built environment. Yeah, so you find that you finish eating, you stay in the house, you watch TV. Yeah,
Hmm.
unlike somebody in the other states,
Right.
they go play tennis, do
So
some sports,
jogging, yeah.
jogging, you know. You
Wow.
don't find too many people jogging around, in the southern states
That's true.
because the environment is not conducive, you know.
So,
And then we love our food.
oh,
We,
oh, the southern diet is different.
it's different.
Oh,
We love our fried food.
okay.
You know, one time I went to Arizona on a conference, so I went to a taco um, place to buy taco. It did not have any taste. So, like the taste I'm used to
In Mississippi.
here in Mississippi. So I wrote about it when I came back to the to Mississippi, you know, to the state. I wrote an article in the newspaper. You know, we enjoy fried food. It's our to-go comfort food. We enjoy it. You know, so those are the little subtle differences
Wow.
that add up, that we end up with so much obesity. We love cooking with our sugar, with our oil, you know. And then, of course, a lot of people are not into the good oil. You know, like the olive oil. Sometimes when I go into the store, I see people with fat back. Just, you know, fat. Then I say, what are you going to do with this? I said, oh, you use it to season your greens.
It's called fat pack.
Fat back.
Okay. Is it a part of an animal?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all fat.
Really?
Yeah. They use it a lot
Oh,
to season the food.
really?
Yeah. When I worked in the hospital, I used to really fight with the cooks not to be adding so much oil to the greens, because oil would be floating,
Okay.
and the green is supposed to be nutritious, right? You know, I used to fight with them. They say, oh, you're too young, you don't know. We've been cooking before you were born. And I said, Lord, Lord, Lord.
Wow.
You
So
know.
tell us a bit about what you have here on the table. I see you have some signs of fat and some fruits and some types of foods here. You might want to just give us a little point as to what they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, where do we begin? So, these are fruits. And I put in plantain,
Okay.
you know.
Is that a popular American?
No, it's not that popular.
Okay.
You find it, actually, Walmart sells it now.
Right.
Yeah. But you find Mexicans
Okay.
and Africans, you know, eating it. So each time I go to the store, I'm explaining how to cook it,
Wow.
and yeah. So we call it plantain.
Plantain, right.
It's a family of banana. Sometimes people will buy it thinking they're buying banana. Yeah, so it's different. But it's a good staple, you know, carbohydrate food.
So it's low carb. Oh.
It's really not, well, when you compare it, it's complex. Let's put
Okay.
it that way.
Complex carb.
Yeah,
Okay.
complex carbohydrate, which what we mean by complex, it takes time to digest. It's not
Okay.
processed, you know. Yeah. So we have a mango.
Okay.
These are tropical.
Okay. They don't sell them. They don't make. This doesn't grow in America.
It does,
Oh, okay.
like in Florida,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
California, yeah. So all this you can really buy in your local stores, and that's why I brought them. And then of course, pear,
Up here.
yeah,
Okay.
and orange.
So you recommend more of this than processed fast food?
Oh.
You recommend increasing the fruits on your table, the greens, the colors, the variety.
You are so correct. And you know these, you can use them for smoothie,
Okay.
you know. So we dietitians, registered dietitians, we encourage increasing fiber, which comes from your vegetable, then fruits. Of course, if you eat these fruits, they have natural fiber and sugar to it,
Right.
that we don't go and buy cake and ice cream. It's so sweet. And you asked a question before, what are the differences? See, back home, we are not exposed to sweets. and pastries.
Like chocolates, cookies, candy,
Yeah, we're not
ice
exposed to
cream.
it. And I remember when I was growing up, we didn't um, buy soda and keep in the house. You
It was for visitors.
exactly. When
It was
visitors
for guests.
it was for
Let me use
guests.
that word.
It was for guests. I didn't write visitors. So when they come, your dad or your mom give you money to go to the store and get the soda or whatever drink they want to serve. So we drank water.
Right.
We drank water all the time,
All day long.
you know, and enjoyed it. Yeah. So unlike here, we now buy soda and keep it in the
Or
house.
juices,
Juice.
or something to keep them. But water is like the last resort, which
Exactly.
is unfortunate.
Yeah, and then talking about juice, it's better to eat things like this because you're getting the fiber from the natural state,
Okay.
than drinking the juice. Now, juice is good, but we recommend half a cup. Half a cup. Unlike my children, they take the jug.
I mean, like orange juice.
Yeah, orange juice
Okay.
or apple juice or
'Cause
cranberry
it's
juice.
highly concentrated, right?
Yeah,
Or
it's
it's
okay.
high calorie. Okay.
Yeah, well, because it's processed.
Right.
It's processed. So you tend to, the body tends to utilize
Can you
it.
define that word processed for my viewers? Because
Oh,
a lot of
yes.
them don't understand what you mean when we say processed food.
What am I doing?
So when you say fast food, what do you mean by that? When you say processed food, what do you mean by that?
Did I break him now? Did I
good.
break?
It's good.
Okay, so processed, it means it has gone through mechanical
Okay.
way. See, like they would take the juice from here,
Right.
juice it and remove the pulp, throw it away, and that's really what the body needs,
Oh.
the fiber. And then you find some people, sometimes they take apple, they remove the back, but that's where your nutrients are.
That's where the nutrients are.
Yeah. So what we recommend, wash it
Right.
well, and enjoy it. Yeah. So juice is fine, but we drink too much of it.
How about
know.
the chips and the I don't know what else they call it, but
Yeah, chips,
all
potato
those-
chips,
right.
corn chips.
Those are $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
The biscuits, the cookies. What do you suggest? I mean, a lot of people tell me, oh, I work 8 to 5. I don't have time to cook. I can't get to the kitchen. I can't meal prep. So that's what I just grab, the famous, what's that famous cookie? The one with the white middle, they just grab whatever they can get.
Yeah, yeah. And you're right. People say that I don't have time to cook, and there are some elements of truth to all these things. But for me, I cook on weekends. I like to cook, and I cook and freeze, and portion it out. That every day, like when I go to the office, I take what I cooked at home to the office.
So you don't have to buy something at
Yeah, because it gets expensive.
It does.
I used to have a daycare where the workers, once they're paid, they run to Sonic with the children. So we used to add those things up. It gets expensive.
Right.
Like we have a Piccadilly. Regular just lunch is $10, $12.
Right.
So if you multiply that by 5 days a week, it adds up.
It adds up.
So
right.
I used to discuss with my workers then. I said, save this money so that you can go on vacation. Do things you
With your
would like to
family.
do with the
Right.
children. Now, I'm not saying going to the fast food every once in a while is not good. You know, children, they like to have that treat, you know.
The
That's
problem
not
is the
bad.
salt content. A lot of those restaurants,
Yeah,
I don't know if they have restrictions, but the salt is high, the
it's
content.
high. It's
So
high.
what would you recommend for salt content? I don't know if you have any demonstrations
Yeah, I
for salt.
do. And you know, you are hitting great points, because that's another thing. Sugar and salt.
Sugar and salt.
We know the food here either is too salty or it's too sugary. It's like there is no in between. Yeah. So salt, we know that for us, African Americans, we are salt sensitive, which adds to hypertension, obesity, because
Cardiac disease,
cardiac,
strokes, kidney failure,
kidney.
which the African American is on top of the chart for.
Exactly. And you see a lot of that in the South also, because we love our salt. We're going to salt our food. That's another thing. When I was at the hospital, they would add so much salt and butter to grits and oatmeal. I said, we don't need all this salt in the grits and oatmeal. But they would.
So how much salt should somebody put in their food? That's what some of my viewers are asking.
Okay.
Do I need salt? Is it necessary to cook with salt, or can I cook without salt? What do you recommend as a dietitian?
Okay. Salt, like 2/3 of a spoon is what we need the whole day. Then if you start having a cardiovascular issue, hypertension, cut it down to maybe half a teaspoon, you know, in the whole day.
Okay.
That includes the soup, the whatever, you know, we are eating.
Because there's also salt in the condiments you're cooking with.
Exactly.
The puree, the pepper, the nutmeg.
Exactly.
They all have salt already.
Exactly.
You now put your own on top. So.
You know, you are right. And then the celery, you know, they have celery salt, seasoning salt, all those things are
So
salt.
what do you think of the dash? People tell me, oh, I use Miss Dash.
This dash is very good.
It's better than the regular
Yeah,
salt. Okay.
it is. It is very good. So let's go through this. Now, the ramen noodle that most parents cook for their children, just one package, that's how much salt is in it.
Wow.
You know. Then ham. Of course, ham is high in salt because it's processed food. You know. So that's how much salt is in the ham. Now, chicken noodle soup, you know, the one that come in a can, that's how much salt is in one serving of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then pork chop, because it doesn't have, unless you add so much salt, but it's natural salt content. This is, you can't even tell.
So that's the natural salt.
In pork chop.
chops. But if you add to it, then it
Oh,
becomes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in the South, Mississippi, Louisiana, of course, you know, we're gonna add more salt.
Shake it up. Yeah.
We're gonna put seasoned salt, celery salt, all that salt, you know.
Shake the shaker.
Yeah, shake the and you know, you have mentioned potato chip. Yeah, just 14 chips. That's how much salt is in it.
Wow.
Yeah, just of course, you know, we eat the whole bag, right?
So if you tell somebody to read their labels, what quantity of milligrams of sodium should they look out for on that bag? I tell my patients 2 grams sodium is maximum. So, but when you read, like, I'll give an example, one of those chips, you know, potato chips, about 350. So I guess, is that suitable, or is that above what you recommend? Especially since they're going to eat other things apart from that bag of chips. So.
Yeah, because chip is snack.
Right.
You gotta eat the main food, right? Yeah. So what you know, reading the full label can be tricky. And once something starts getting difficult, people don't want to deal with it. So my best advice, those things we don't need that much of, like your salt, like saturated fat, those kind of things that we don't need, less than 5% daily value, which it will have on it. And I don't know if we can, this is too small.
Yeah, that's okay. You can just read it out. Yeah.
It's too small. Okay, so you find nutrition facts, which is your
Okay. It's on the back of
level.
everything.
It's on the back of
Right.
everything, and they're making it even more user friendly now. Before, they have the calorie in small print,
Right.
so now they have bolded it.
Bolden. Okay.
The new ones. If you go now into the store, that's what you're gonna see. Then they bolden also the serving size. Like if you buy this one, 2/3 cup is 1 serving, and it has 8 servings in it.
Okay.
So when we eat the potato chip, if it's not the small ones, look and see how many servings are in the bag of potato chip. You look at that
And
first.
then multiply by the calories.
Exactly. Multiply if you're gonna eat the whole bag, and multiply the calorie by how many servings. Now, it tells you also total fat. See, this is where we do the daily value. What it means is how much are any of these adding to what you need for the whole day,
For the whole day.
your daily value. So to go back to your question, like sugar that we don't need, if it's less than 5%, that's good. Salt that we don't need, if it's less than 5%, that's good.
Okay.
Those things that the body needs,
Okay.
look, if it's the higher it goes, the better it is.
Oh.
So that's a little better than
Okay.
trying to figure out. So if you have like 3 bags of chip, look for the one that have the lowest amount of salt in it.
Salt in it. Okay. Less than 5% ideally.
Ideal.
Ideally. Okay. We're gonna come back. Our show is almost coming to an end. Dr. Edith Ezekwe is going to talk to us next time about the plant-based diet. You don't want to miss it. Join us. God bless you. Jesus is Lord. Amen.